QRODS, a Qt library for iRODS data system access. And my name is Bruno Silva. Here's my email. Oh, unfortunately, the resolution is not so good. Let me try another approach. Okay, very good. And I'm part of Federal University of Pernambuco. Actually, I am a PhD student, and this library have been done in collaboration with Steve Worth from EMC Corporation and Jason Koposki from iRODS Consortium. This is the agenda for my presentation. First of all, I'm going to introduce this work. I'm going to talk about the QRODS library, its features, its architecture, and how we implemented that. We're going to talk about the RODX, that's a simple application to demonstrate the QRODS features, and we're going to perform a live demonstration. I'm going to perform it. So this is the introduction of our work. As you may know, iRODS is an open source platform for managing, sharing, and integrating data. There are several tools to adopt iRODS. Here in this meeting, we have seen a lot of them. There are iCommands, iROD Explorer, and another tools, valuable tools. And by the way, Qt is a comprehensive C application for development of GUI application using an approach. Write once, compile everywhere. So if you have the Qt code, you can compile interface, graphical interface for Mac, Ubuntu, Linux, Windows, even mobile applications. So it's a very famous framework. There are a lot of important projects that adopt Qt. We have VirtualBox, Wireshark, Kindle, Ubuntu Touch, even the Skype is worked with Qt. So we have important projects that use that framework. So as a main motivation of our work is that there is no easy way to adopt iRODS in Qt application. So nowadays, without our application, my friend from Finland that have had a lot of issues about using Qt without a proper library to use that. So we propose a library to provide support for Qt applications to communicate with iRODS in a simple way. So our main goal is not to provide a managing library or something like that, but using our application, a Qt developer can navigate in iRODS infrastructure. He will be able to download files, upload files, will be able to edit metadata, read metadata, and so on, in a very simple way. So actually what our library does is mapping. It provides a mapping between iRODS API commands and the Qt equivalents. So instead of performing the output I get and the other iCommands, by using our library, we can instantiate a Qt object and perform the methods of that object. Pretty much similar to what we have done, what we can do with Java and C++ application. Just create an object and use their functions. Actually, QRODS is a MVC component that extends key abstract item model. People who programs in Qt knows how easy it is to use, for instance, key file system file system model. It's an MVC component in which you can provide file system access to list views, tree views, and table views. So by using QRODS, we can do the same thing. We can use table views, tree views, and list views to access the iRODS objects. QRODS, as I said before, supports table, tree, and list views. And for huge collections, QRODS presents also a lazy load functionality for all the views. So instead of getting all the amount of objects in a single step, we can collect the objects step by step. So the user probably will not stuck on the screen when we have huge collections. The main features of QRODS are we can create and delete files or collections. We can download and upload files. We can add and delete metadata from an object. Also, we can list content. We can list files, metadata, and collections. And how to use QRODS? It's very straightforward. Here we can, your application that use the Qt framework. Actually, it's a graphical interface. And then we just need to import the QRODS and use it. Very simple. And the QRODS provides direct access to iRODS. And what about the infrastructure? Well, the QRODS has different clients. It has file clients, data object clients. Oh, I think we are good. Okay. So good. So QRODS adopt the REST API. Actually, our library performs REST calls to get the objects, to access the objects, to list the objects. It has several clients to perform the REST calls. And the Jagan REST API uses the iRODS by adopting a proprietary XML protocol. Oh, sorry, a proprietary, no, given XML protocol. So although Jagan API, REST API, although Jagan is implemented in Java, it presents REST APIs that allows different applications from many languages to communicate with iRODS. So that's why we are using it, because it's very straightforward, very simple to use, the Jagan REST API. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the clients of your architecture. So we have the file content client for file operations. So by using it, we can perform download, upload operations for files. We can also use the data object client for metadata operations. So by using it, we can download or upload metadata information from an object or collection. We also have a collection client for collection operations. So we can list the collection content. We can add new collections. We can delete a collection, and so on. And we have also the abstract HTTP client. This client is adopted for HTTP operations. So it's a class that provides the get, put, delete, HTTP main operations. Here we have a simplification of our class diagram. I don't know if you can see it, perhaps. I'll do that. Here we have the QAbstract item model, that is part of Qt, and we extended that to provide list views, tree views, and table views. The QRODS communicates with different clients, as I told you before. We have the file content client, the collection client, the data object client, and we have also the file list entry. And each one of the clients can use the functionalities of abstract HTTP client. So by using the HTTP client, the file client, collection client, and data object client can perform the REST API operations. We have also the file list entry and the metadata entry. Each one of these entries or classes are responsible for, the first one is responsible for the tree structure of an object. So here we can represent an object or a collection. And the metadata entry represents the metadata of a given object or collection. I will present more details about the clients of our infrastructure. We have the file content client class. It manages the iRODS files. So the main function of this client are upload file and download file. So it's exposed to the rest of the clients by using a facade. So by using the QRODS, we can call the upload file and the download file in a direct way. So it's very similar to I put and I get operations. When we use the data object client class, we can manage the iRODS metadata. So we can remove data objects, we can get the content of an object in terms of metadata, and we can add a new collection to a metadata to a collection. So it's very similar to iMeta operations. Also, we have a collection client class. It manages the iROD collections. And by using this client, we can create new collections, remove collections, get collections in a synchronous way, and get collections in a lazy loading way. I mean, performing lazy loading operations. So when the size of a collection is very big, we can the library automatically change from this method to this method. So the user can set a parameter. For instance, if a collection has more than 1,000 or 100,000 objects, the collection will be fetched piece by piece using this method. Or if the collection is not so big, we can use this method to get the whole amount of objects in a single step. It's similar to ILS, IRM, and IMake directory operations. As I told you before, the get collection DataLazy is performed automatically whenever big collections are listed. The size of big collection is user definable, and if collection size is higher than a threshold, the get collection lazy is called for listing. When we think about the abstract HTTP client class, it actually generates the get, post, put, and delete HTTP calls. So we have simple functions to do that. We have do get, do post, do put, and do delete. And by calling these functions, we can perform the HTTP operations. And we have the main class of our architecture of our library. We have the QRODS class that extends the Q abstract utility model. So this class provides access to Qt developers to adopt table views, list views, and tree views. And to do that, we implement the main Qt functions to provide that access. We have the index function, parent data, and header data, and another functions that are very important to do that. So the user don't need to care about it. The user just need to configure the parameters of the iRODS server and then use our library. I will show you how to do it. Here in the file listing entry, we represent nodes, which can be objects or collections. So to provide the three view of our library, we have to have these entities. So when we have a collection or a client, it can be a file listing entry. And if the file listing entry is a collection, it has a lot of children here, this direction. So each children or each object also has a parent. So we have this relationship and this relationship. So by using this structure, we can create a tree model in our library. And I'm going also to present you RODS. That's a RODS Explorer. Of course, it's much more simple than you have shown in this meeting. Of course, it's just an application to show that it's possible to use QRODS. Okay, so it's not intended to be a manager or management application. As I told you before, it's application to list the content of an object or of a collections or collections. We will be able to download objects, upload the objects, edit metadata, and so on. So it's very similar to what we have in Qt for file system access. The RODS application is able to manage files, collections, and metadata. So I'll show you how it works. I'm sorry, I cannot see my cursor. Oh. I'm sorry, I have to restart my machine. So I'm going to connect to the internet to enable the iRODS connection. So I need to agree with terms from here. Actually, I have a VM with iRODS installed, and I have a iRODS server on the university. So I'm going to connect with the university, and if something's wrong over there, I can use my VM. So let me, okay, perhaps, let me just to check if the connection is working. Okay, the connection is working. So I'm going to open the QRODS or Qt Creator. It's coming. So this Qt creator is the main IDE for creating Qt applications. So we have the QRODS project. We have here a configuration file in which we can set the parameters of server, port number, and so on. Let me show you. I have here the configuration file. Here we have the host name, the port number, the user, the password path, and the secure HTTP option. Our lab provides SSL connection, so we can use a secure layer to provide the communication between iRODS and the client. We also can store the password in an encrypted file. So we can select our password and put in a file. And here I'm going to open the QRODS or QRODS by using RODX. So this is the main screen of RODX. Everybody can see? Okay. So it presents 3 different views of the same zone. Okay. So we have list view, table view, and tree view. We have also on the left side some controls to add collections, delete collections. We can also delete files, upload files, and delete files here. I'm sorry, download file, I should say. And here we have the remote path. We can update the screen, and we can edit it. In the list view, we can see the zones and the files. Okay. The table view, we can see the parameters of the zone. We have the name of zone. You can see here the path, the parent path, the collection. Actually, an iRODS object has more parameters than that one, so it's user configurable. The user can configure the name, the path, the parent path. The user can change the order, and so on. And here we have the tree view. And in tree view, we can see the collections, and the collection can present another collection in it. You have the collection 4 that presents another collection in it, and so on. We can add collections or new files in a very straightforward way. So first of all, I'm going to introduce or create a new collection. So first thing to do is to select the collection name. Let me say I'm going to create the collection 5. So let home temp zone / home / rods collection 5. When I do that here, we can see that we just created the collection 5. We can also remove a collection. So for instance, if I want to remove that collection, collection 5, I just need to click on it and select the delete collection operation. It's not here. Oh, sorry. Not here anymore. we also can upload a file. For instance, I'm going to select one file from my machine. For instance, this one. Q metadata model. I'll change the name. And then select the collection path, or the collection path actually. It will be temp zone, home rods, a metadata. I'm going to select intermediate collection. So collection 1 / a metadata. So we're going to upload it. Oh, sorry, perhaps. Let me select it again. Let me open again. I'm sorry for that. Perhaps some connection issue, because I'm actually in my university. Look at my file. Temp zone. Oh, now we go. You have a list of file, and then where is it? Let me put another name. It's on the end of list. Here is my file. So I can download it again. Oh, download it also. So when I select a file, and then select the local path for that file, file 123 for instance, and then download it. It has been downloaded. It's on my temp. All right. What's the file name that I chose? My file. Oh, it's called here file 123 is the local path, and here is the file 123. Okay. Yes, and we also can delete a file. So now I'm going to present you how to create a very simple application to perform a download operation by using the QRODS. Okay. So we can here create a Qt design form class, and I can create a dialog without buttons. I will call it my dialog. Let's see, live. My live dialog. Select it. Put a push button. We can put a list view on it. We change the name of it. I mean the main to use it's called my dialog live. I run it just to check if you come up. Still compiling. Take it. Let's go machine. Here. And then I will adjust some details. Let me put a QRODS model. I'm going to include it. And then here, my dialog live, I will set the parameters. I'm going to adjust the IP. The port number. And the zone. Then when I run it, we should be able to see the list, the same list of files that we had before. Takes a while to compile. Oh, I forgot to include the QRODS. Sorry. Here you can see the zones and the files. And when if we create a push button action, very simple, we can also download the file. So I will just do that. It's very quick. I'll copy the code. It's a very simple code that get the selected file reference and then download it. I just need to go in the form, create an action, click at action, and then put here the code. Actually, it will save the selected file over here. Sorry. Oh, I had to. Oh, I selected the wrong dialog. I'm sorry. Over here. Oh. Actually, I have a precompiled, or I have done it before. I'll just show another version of it. Should be here. I'm sorry. I'll change that just to show you how it works. It will take just 1 minute. Oh, perhaps I can show you another time. I'm sorry for that. I tested over several times, but I'm sorry for that. If you have any question.
We have time for questions.
I think the Qt stuff is really neat. For somebody who is not really familiar with it, can you maybe characterize what the environment is like in terms of third-party widgets, look and feels, that sort of thing, in terms of putting that kind of polish on it? Is that sort of in the Qt ecosystem now, or how can you customize it?
Okay. Actually, the QRODS is a very similar to what we have in Qt nowadays. So when we have, for instance, the Q file system model, we can customize it. You can add a new behavior, or we can change the, for instance, the tree structure. We can change the the table columns, the names, and how it works. So by using our library, we can do the same thing. Actually, this library has only 4 months of development. So that's why it's not so stable, and we are figuring out how to distribute that. It will be an open source library, but we need to improve it, actually. Thank you for your question.
Okay, let's thank our speakers.